Alrighty, Shalom. Before I start off, like the first and foremost, as always, give all honor, glory, and praise to our Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rechakodash. Double honors to our venerated apostles and others, great millstones and taught us the truth, and are the true leaders of the nation of Israel, which consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, as well as the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad. Brother Shamar back with another quick lesson. And this serves as another update on World War III and prophecy. Okay, and prophecy is moving, man. All right, as you have Israel has launched strikes against Iran. Okay, and we know it's written in Jeremiah the 50th chapter in the 45th verse. All right, the least of the flock shall draw them out. Okay, dealing with the Amalekites. 1948 is over there in the state of Israel. All right, and this is Russia is soon to get involved. All right, pursuing Ezekiel 38. So let me just read a little bit on this, give an update as to what's going on, because the elders and apostles on down have been saying that this was going to happen. All right. This is from CNN. It says Israel hits Iran's nuclear program and military leadership in unprecedented strikes. This was updated 10:49 a.m. June 13, 2025. Israeli security source says top military leaders and nuclear scientists were targeted in opening strikes. All right, and remember, Iran had was being warned by Israel and the U.S. concerning its nuclear program. Okay, but you had the U.S. trying to negotiate a deal, all right, with Iran, all right, a nuclear deal. Let's see real quick. Iran. But Iran wasn't up for negotiations. All right. And see, now that you have Israel striking Iran, all right, again it says Israel hits Iran's nuclear program and military leadership with unprecedented strikes. This is all going to lead to the Battle of Armageddon over there in that region. Okay, these nations are going to be fighting this Third World War over in that region. The U.S. is going to get dragged. All right, I'm going to get this real quick. It's Jeremiah 50 and 45. Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he had taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he had purposed against the land of the Chaldeans, talking about America. Okay, Babylon the Great, all right, also known as the virgin daughter of Babylon, because this place had remained untouched for some time, but it will be. All right, the end of America is going to be that thermonuclear destruction by way of the ICBMs. It says, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he had taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he had purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Why is it? The land of the Chaldeans was dealing with Babylon. Ancient Babylon, you had the Chaldeans, which were witches and warlocks, right, sorcerers. Okay, here in America, you got the same thing. All right, amongst these higher ups, politicians, elected officials, and so on. All right, witches and warlocks, man. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Okay, and the modern day king of Babylon is Esau. In this modern day Babylon. It says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, dealing with the small hats. All right. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Okay, because we know that America is gonna get hit. All right, but Israel too is gonna be hit. All right, and that land is gonna be cleansed. Because you have the small hats and the heathen over there in that land. But it says, Israel struck at the height of Iran's nuclear missile and military complex early Friday in an unprecedented attack that has killed several of Iran's most powerful figures and plunges the wider Middle East into dangerous new territory. All right, and that dangerous new territory is leading into a full-scale war. All right, this third world war. It says, strikes on Iran's nuclear program and senior military leaders could be a turning point in the long-running conflict, where Israel braced for a major Iranian retaliation and the threat of a wider regional war breaking out, now a real risk. So this is Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe was past, woe meaning destruction. Right, the second woe dealing with the Second World War, which began in 1939 and ended in 1945. All right, you had the bombings on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, little boy and fat man. All right, which that technology has advanced from the atomic bomb. All right, and now you have ICBM nuclear missiles. All right, intercontinental ballistic missiles with nuclear payloads. It says, and behold, the third world coming quickly, this third world war. All right, because here it is. You have all these conflicts going on in the earth. All right, these proxy wars being fought. Okay, now you have these key players being getting involved with one another. Let's get Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men in war draw near, let them come up. So war is being prepared. It says, beat your plowshares and the swords, and your pruning hooks and spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. All right, plowshares, pruning hooks are dealing with agricultural tools. But what's being said is, these nations of foretime, these nations now, all right, are more invested in their military, their weapons, all right, their nuclear arsenals, as opposed to agriculture or infrastructure. All right, which a lot of the world's global spending is has gone into military. All right, defenses and so on. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause our mighty ones to come down, O Lord. It says, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yehoshaphat, which is over there in the east. It says, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So what's going on is going to lead these nations over there in that region. Okay? So the Lord can judge them once he sends his only begotten son, Yahushua, back to fight them in the midst. It says, verse 13, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for the wickedness is great. All right, basically, this prophecy, it is getting ready to come and pass. Okay? So how much more the chip? How much more the MOTB? All right? Which is already here. But it's only a matter of time before it's mandated and pushed throughout the whole earth. All right? Because this devil is coming about with this NWO. All right, this beast system. And the MOTB has to be mandated first. It has to come first. Verse 14, multitudes in the valley of decision. Yahweh Shaphat, right? For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. Joel 3:2, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and part of my land. Right. And Israel has been scattered throughout the whole earth, throughout the four corners of the earth. And our nation, in our our lands have been inhabited by the small hats and by the Arabs and the rest of these heathen. Okay. So you could read into the Balfour Declaration and how these 1948ers, came into our land. All right. And this is all leading to these small hats over there getting hit. All right. America's gonna get involved. Russia's gonna get involved. Pursuing Ezekiel 38, Russia shall be a guard unto Iran. Okay. The Israeli strikes on Iran throughout the day, and the the Iranian retaliation raised fears of a broader regional conflagration. Although Iran's allies, Hamas in Gaza and Hezbollah in Lebanon, have been decimated by Israel. Iran's state news agency, IRNA, said Tehran launched hundreds of ballistic missiles at Israel after Israel blasted Iran's huge Natanz underground nuclear site and killed its top military commanders. Iran says its nuclear program is only for peaceful purposes. Israeli officials said it may be some time before the extent of damage at the Natanz was clear. Western countries have long accused Iran of refining uranium there to levels suitable for a bomb rather than civilian use. Okay? Which they've been, there's been an alarm over their enriched uranium stockpile. All right, which is why they've been trying to negotiate nuclear arms, nuclear deals. All right, which Iran is, constantly shut down, not willing to negotiate. All right, so war is being prepared. These nations are getting prepared. It says the above-ground pilot enrichment plant in Natanz has been destroyed. UN nuclear watchdog chief Rafael Grossi told the Security Council on Friday. He said the UN was still gathering information about the Israeli attacks on two other facilities, the Fordo fuel enrichment plant at Isfahan. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei accused Israel of starting the war. A senior Iranian official said nowhere in Israel would be safe and revenge would be painful. Iran's UN envoy Amir Saeed Iravani said 78 people, including senior military officials, were killed in Israel strikes on Iran, and more than 320 people were wounded, most of them civilians. He accused the U.S. of being complicit in the attacks and said it shared full responsibility for the consequences. So the U.S. is going to get involved. All right, like we read in Jeremiah 50:45, surely the least of flock shall draw them out. Surely ye shall make their habitation desolate with them. See, Northern Army. Let's get that Joel 2:20. This goes into America being deployed out there in that region. Joel 2:20, but I will remove far off from you the Northern Army, dealing with America's army, and will drive him into land barren and desolate over there in the Arabian desert region, right? With his face toward the east sea and his hinder part toward the utmost sea. Okay, with its face toward the East Sea, dealing with the Persian Gulf. All right, and its hinder part toward the utmost sea, dealing with the Red Sea. Right, that region in between the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf, you have the Arabian Desert. All right. So like that region is where things are gonna get popping off. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he had done great things. Right, there's gonna be a lot of dead bodies over there in that region. All right. So, real quick, I want to grab Ezekiel 38 and close out. Cause hey, man, Israel is, it's like Iran is largely endorsed, if you will, by Russia. Okay. Matter of fact, let me look this up real quick. So I looked this up with ChatGPT. Does Russia supply arms to Iran and its militant allies? Because you have Hamas out there, you've got the Hezbollah, I think, all right, and a few others. It says, yes, there's strong evidence that Russia is actively supplying arms to Iran and in turn supporting Iran's proxy militias across the Middle East. Here's what open source intelligence reveals. Arms for arms exchange with Iran. Missiles and drones. Iran has sent tactical ballistic missiles and thousands of Iranian Shahed drones to Russia in the Ukraine war. In exchange, Russia has begun meeting Iran's demands for modern weaponry and technology. Russian fighter jets and air defense. Russia is reportedly preparing to deliver Su-35 fighter jets, S-400 missile defense systems, Iskander tactical rockets, and advanced electronic warfare gear, possibly including Murmansk's BN system to Iran. Arms flow to Iran's militant allies, Hezbollah. Russia has funneled Russian-made anti-ship missiles, Pantsir S-1 air defense systems, and intelligence support through Syria to Hezbollah. Russian military personnel, including Wagner operatives, have trained and assisted Hezbollah on the ground. The Houthis. Russia has also provided targeted data via Iran's IRGC to the Houthis, enabling more effective missile and drone strikes against commercial shipping in the Red Sea. So, let's grab this now. Ezekiel 38:2, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Okay, dealing with Russia. All right, because the name Russia, which goes back to the Hebrew Ra'ash Shar, right? Ra'ash meaning head, Shar meaning prince. All right, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. All right, and prophesy against him. And say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. Basically meaning the Lord is putting that USSR fighting spirit back on these Russians, man. And I will bring thee forth all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even the great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling the swords. Persia, Ethiopia, Persia being modern-day Iran, okay? Ethiopia and Libya with them. All of them with shields and helmet. Gomer and all his bands. Turkey, right? The house of Togarmah in the north quarters. And all his bands and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia is going to be a guard unto Persia, modern-day Iran, all right? Ethiopia, Libya, Turkey, an assembly of nations in this war. All right, and we're getting ready to see these things. So yeah, there it is. Washington is long sought to limit Tehran's nuclear capacity, with the most recent negotiations in Rome last month ending with no agreement. The sixth round of U.S.-Iran talks, have been scheduled for Sunday in Oman. It's not clear if it will go ahead, and hey, we'll see. More than likely it ain't gonna happen like that because these nations are tired of America, man. All right, and these damn small hats. Israel's strikes came shortly after Tehran said that it would ramp up its nuclear activities due to the International Atomic Energy Agency passing a resolution saying that the country was not in compliance with its non-proliferation commitments, senior U.S. officials told CNN. So things are getting ready to pop off, man. Prophecy is moving. All right, so, in closing, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Bashem El Shah, Bashem Rakakwadash, double honor to our venerated apostles and elders once again of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Till next I say Shalom.